Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. If you're seeing this video, it's because, well, I couldn't do the stream like I originally thought I was going to be able to today. So we are looking here at this video, obviously. Today we are doing a very special kind of thing. We're returning to my little, I guess you could call it an ongoing series of D&D Theorycraft, where we take a group of VTubers and we turn them into a semi-functional Dungeons & Dragons party. Today, we are looking at perhaps the largest group that I could theoretically assemble, and that is because for this particular group, there wasn't a nice way to kind of break them into the typical 4 to 5 party member size, because every generation here is 3 members, and there are 3 generations totaling 9. If you do your math, you might, if you know your VTubers, you might already know who we're looking at. Let's pop over to our screen here. Yes, we are looking at Hololive ID as an entire 9-member party today. Now, if you are playing Dungeons & Dragons, either as a player or as a Dungeon Master, I don't recommend a party of this size, personally. In my personal experience, having a group this size would not go very well. However, this is just theory, and so we are fine looking at it just in theory. Now, how did I go about this party? I will do a little bit of explanation here before I jump in. As it is a 9-member party, there's going to be a lot of crossing and interacting between the various roles, like I've done, unlike how I've split up the previous Dungeons & Dragons Theorycraft videos in streams. So I'm not going to divide it up here exactly that way. You could theoretically have 2 or 3 members potentially in a particular area. So what I did instead, when I was looking at this group, I was like, well, let's make them different classes. Let's try and get as many classes in this party as possible. And I think I got it all working that way. Now, when I first came up with this idea, before I had instituted the 1 class rule, I actually had a different idea, different party comp. So potentially there could be some multi-classing involved in some of these builds to get a good grasp of the powers that perhaps they might have. So we aren't gonna dive too deep into that because we're only going up to level 5 in these Theorycraft builds. So without any further ado, let's go into it. We're going to go in alphabetical order today, just because there are 9 members. And it actually is quite convenient. I kind of noticed that every group of the first 3, the second 3, the final 3 end up with 1 from each of the ID generations. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, we're starting at the top of our list here. We're going to start with Anya. So let's get the scroll out of the way here. We're starting with Anya here. So let's go over, let's bring up my screen here. Here we are. As with all of our particular character builds for VTubers, we go with the custom lineage for this, so therefore we can most accurately, give them their their respective representations. But Anya is technically humanized sword. So, as with all characters, we're going to actually go with 2 size medium, even if they are short stacks. Because of her being a weapon, we're actually going to go for her feet here. We're actually going to go with Weapon Master. Now, that may seem... Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about this now. We're not going to go with Weapon Master. We're going to go... I think Slasher here might be best. Let me just double check what Slasher does. Oh dear, error code. That was unexpected. Can we get Slasher here? Apparently we can't. I don't know why. Wait, can we get Piercer then? That's weird. Just slash. Okay. Now we can do it. Okay. We're going to go with Slasher, actually. Because actually that would fit quite well with somebody who's a sword, after all. Yeah, I like that. Because of that, also, we're actually going to go for our strength. Because it probably may be pretty obvious already which class we're going to do with Anya. But Anya is probably going to be one of our frontliners here. Or frequently on the front line. When it comes to variable trait, I think we're going to give her proficiency here. And I think we're going to give her a proficiency... I think we'll actually give her a proficiency in stealth. And the reason we're going to give her a proficiency in stealth is because she's supposed to be a sword, but she looks very human to me. Right? At the moment. So we're gonna give her that stealth. So like I said, she's gonna be one of our frontliners here. And as a weapon, it kind of makes the most sense for her to be the fighter. In my opinion, at least. Like I said, we're gonna go up to level 5 here. So we're going to give her 2 proficiencies in fighting skills. We'll give her the acrobatics. We'll also give her the athletics here for those nice proficiencies. As a fighting style, we're going to go with... that is a silly ad, I think. Why is there an ad in my music? That's a fighting style for Anya. We're going to go with... okay, past the ad now. As a fighting style for Anya, we're going to go with... I think we're going to go with a protection here. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because like I said, if we're going to make her kind of a frontliner anyway, she's going to do some of the tanking stuff. So protection is a good idea. When it comes to a martial archetype, I felt it was most appropriate for her to actually go with Battle Master. as a student of war, we get artisans tools. Well, let's go with let's go. I think we get simply. I think we'll give her the painter supplies for art. Maneuvers. Maneuvers are very important here. What does our bait and switch do? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll also give her parry. Would be very good to have as a sword. Maybe riposte too. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Bait and switch, parry, and riposte are going to be her early maneuver choices. We're going to go for the straight ASIs here. And I think we're going to boost just the strength here off the top. Going over to her abilities, we choose the standard array for these builds. And one ability score of our choice will increase by 2. We already have a +3 to her strength score, so we're actually going to give her some con from her racial bonus. And that's going to let us put 15 here in strength. We can put the 14 in constitution. We'll put a 12 in dexterity. I think Anya's pretty wise, actually. So we'll give her the 13 in the wisdom. We'll give her the 10 in intelligence. And personally, I don't see many clips of Anya. You know, she does a lot of solo things. She doesn't do a lot of collabs. From my knowledge. So unfortunately, we're gonna make her charisma her dump stat here as a character. But you know, this is just a numbers game when it comes to D&D. Unfortunately, we have to dump a stat when we have to create a quote-unquote dump stat when we choose standard array. That's not to actually say that, you know, Anya is or is not more or less charismatic than anybody else. Now we get to give her a language simply for, you know, her origin. There's not really a language of weapons, so we'll go with. I think we'll go with Dwarvish, and the reason we'll go with Dwarvish. Dwarves are known for crafting great weapons in mythologies, or at least are commonly now associated with doing so. So as a weapon, let's just make her, you know, let's give her some Dwarvish origins. Now when it comes to backgrounds, we have some very interesting choices that we could potentially go with. I think perhaps the best one for her, though, there's not really a weapon. So I think actually probably the best might be perhaps archaeologist. If we presume, I don't know the full extent of Anya's lore as previous sword, admittedly. But if if say, for example, she was something along the lines similar to, you know, Excalibur or something like that, perhaps she would be something that has a great knowledge. So I think that would be a pretty good choice. Let's give her the cartographer's tools then. And let's give her a language that's exotic and long lived, I guess. Let's go with Elvish then. She'll get the history and survival, which I think is pretty good in her case. Obviously, we're going to choose some equipment here for her. We're going to give her the chainmail. Martial weapon and shield, definitely. It kind of makes sense that she would go with a long sword, being a sword herself. Let's go explorers. Yeah, that's all pretty good stuff. We'll just let her keep all that. And let's go... She would definitely be more in your face than willing to go at range, I think. So let's go with the hand axes. Boom. Starting. Let's have her wield and wear everything. And let's look at the character sheet now. So, here we have Anya here at level 5. She's already at 49 hit points. She's got +7s on her attacks. She's got a nice 18 armor class already. And this is just without any magical items too. So, you know, if you're playing this Anya build and have magical items by this point, you know, you could already have, you know, better attack, you know, more hit points or something, better armor, potentially. But this is our Anya build. So, let's pull out our scroll. We have Anya, the Battle Master fighter. Oh, it's off the scroll a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that should fit everything. So now it is time to move on to the next member of our party. And the next member of our party is our alien princess, Yofi. I don't even know if that's the correct way to say the name. That's how I've been saying it. I guess we'll see. Of course, our size is medium. And for our feet, I think the best one for Yofi. Where is... Where's Faye Wanderer? Okay, I guess we can't choose Faye Wanderer. I was going to choose Faye Wanderer because it made the most sense. Or Far Wanderer, whatever it is. Where is it? Strix Initiate, Ritual Caster, Resilient, Shadow Touch, Magic Initiate, Fate Touched. Okay, I guess we're not picking Far Traveler, Far Wanderer. Well, she's an alien. Let's go with Observant then. She had to figure out how to, you know, observe. Let's go with a Wisdom point of her feet. Variable trait. Now, there's no guarantee that she doesn't have dark vision. But I think it's going to be more important that we go with a proficiency here. And we're going to take her performance skill here. I think that's going to be very important. I think. Now, when it comes to Eophi's class, hers is actually hers was a little bit of the hardest one to kind of decide which class she was going to be. And the reason for that is because she doesn't seem to have a sort of fighting thing associated with her, which is kind of interesting because I've noticed all the VTubers, or lots of VTubers, seem to have some kind of weapon or anything, but no. Eophi is kind of particularly known, or at least, you know, represented. That's what I was looking for. That's my brain was farting there, looking for the right word. Eophi is typically has all these, you know, paint splotches you see, you know, and such. It's always kind of messy, like she's always been painting. So there's not really a painter class, but in a sort of somewhat ideal world, I guess you could say idealist, there is one class which painters would kind of fall into, and that is the bard. So Eophi is going to be our bard here, which is going to be kind of interesting. Now, I don't remember if during her recent her recent 3D debut stream, I can't remember if she did an instrument or not. I don't remember. So we're just going to give her some basic instruments here, just because I don't really remember. I feel like she may have been the one to do some piano, but I could be wrong about that. I could be misremembering. And then, so we're going to just give her some simple ones. Another ad. The flute, drum, and lute here. And then when it comes to her skills, we're going to give her that perception, because she's going to have to, of course, observe the things so that she can blend in. We're going to give her some insight here. And we're going to give her some investigation. And because we're going to bump her up to level 5, we're going to pick a Bard College. Now, the Bard College is where we're really going to kind of set her apart here and decide, kind of deciding her build. There are a few that I considered. I looked at the colleges before making a decision, and I think the best one for what I was kind of going for here is actually the Glamour Bard. She's going to get some expertise in that performance, and we're also going to give it to her in the perception. Mantle of Inspiration, Enthralling Performance. Ability score improvement, we're going to just use, like, again, straight ASIs, and we're going to boost that Charisma for her. We'll come back to spells here in a moment. We're going to do straight Charisma boost from her racial bonus. And choose our standard array again. Now we're going to pick for Charisma, because we are a Charisma caster as a bard, we want to boost that Charisma up high. So we're going to give her 14 to Charisma. We're going to give her 15 to Dexterity and her 12 to Constitution. We're going to give her 13 to Wisdom, so with that +1 that we got from Observant, that'll bump it to 14. We're going to give her Intelligence 10, and we'll use Strength as her dump stat. Now that we have all of her scores in, let's go back and do some spells. Now she can know 3 cantrips. You almost have to choose a Vicious Mockery here, because it is the quintessential bard cantrip. But I think also we're gonna choose Mage Hand for her, and we're also clearly she doesn't have Prestidigitation because she always has paint all everywhere. So I think it would be better if we had, let's do Friends. I think Friends would work best. Now we get 8 spells across levels 1, 2, and 3. Let's choose some from first here. I think we're going to want, I think Fairy Fire is a good pick in this particular instance. I think we're going to choose a Healing Word here as well. Let's go with a Charm Person. And let's go with a Silvery Barbs. Now let's pick 2 spells from 2nd level. I think we're going to pick here. Let's pick Invisibility. I think that's a good choice. We'll give her another damaging spell in Shatter. Actually, let's pick 3 spells here from 2nd level, because we'll also give her Suggestion here. And then we'll get 1 spell from 3rd level, which I think is going to be pretty important here for her. Let's give her Tongues. As an alien, she's going to speak, the languages of Earth, after all. Going over to our background, this is, I think, is pretty, even though it's not really an alien, the language of aliens. I think Celestial is going to be the big pick here for her background, for her racial language. And then when it comes to the background, she's an alien princess. There's really only one that kind of fits that description. Noble. And as a noble, as a space noble, I think we should probably pick some other language that is kind of out there. Let's go with not deep sea. Let's go with abyssal. I think that'll work best. And now we get a gaming set for her as well. I think let's just go with some dice. I think that'll work. Equipment. She's not really a fighter. She's definitely a support spellcaster in our build here. So we're going to pick the Entertainers pack, that much I know. And let's grab... We'll just grab the loot. Just because. Even though she's not really a fighter, you know, she should have a weapon. And I think we're gonna choose the rapier for her. It's probably the best dex-based sword. And we can just ignore all this other stuff. So let's take a look at her sheet, her final sheet. As you can see, as a level 5 Bart, she's got 33 hit points here. Got a nice +5s here across the board, but her primary is spellcasting. So let's go over to the spells here. Got a nice DC 15 here, +7 on our spell attack for targeted spells, but most of her spells here are saving throw spells. So, you know, not too worried about that spell attack. But all of our other ones are kind of buff spells. Most of hers are either buff spells or debuff spells. And that is Eophi's build. So, let's pull out the scroll again. We have Eophi, the Glamour Bard. And now we go on to Kayla. Now Kayla is probably one of the easiest to decide what class she was going to be. And that is because there really isn't and oh my, she's very tall. Very, very tall. Okay, Kayla, I know you're very tall, but I need to be able to be seen too. Thank you. Alright, there's Kayla. She's the blacksmith. Kind of really easy to guess what class I probably went with. But when we go to Kayla, now I tried to look this up actually, because it's quite a few of Hollow ID is humans, or at least appears, well, everybody appears to be human. But as far as I could tell, Kayla, and this actually goes for Kobo and Muna and Zeta as well, seem to all actually be human. So you could, in theory, actually, let's remove the scroll here. So you could, in theory, choose human for Kayla, as well as for the others. Now I didn't, just in case there's something weird going on that I am not aware of. After all, we do consider Kayla to be a penguin and honorary member of Holotori. We're going to go with the medium size again. When it comes to feet here, I think we're actually going to choose actually, we're going to come back to her feet, her racial feet here. But when it comes to our variable trait, we're going to choose proficiency here. And we're going to choose proficiency. We're actually going to choose her proficiency in athletics here. It takes a lot of effort to be blacksmith. We're going to come back to the feet here in a moment. Now, as I said, it probably came as no surprise which class we're going to pick for Kayla. She's going to be our cleric, which really makes more sense when we get to the subclass. Level 5, set 2. Our proficiencies here for her. We're going to give her the medicine, and we're going to give her the history, or not the history, the insight, excuse me. When it comes to divine domain, this is where we where it made it very easy to decide as Kayla the cleric. The forge domain. Go figure, right? Forge domain is, all about smithing, basically. We're going to choose some ASIs here. We're going to boost her wisdom. I think Kayla is like, Kayla kind of is like jokingly one of the parents of Hollow ID. And so, very, very wise sense to her. Plus wisdom is good for clerics. Let's go to her abilities. We're going to give her the straight wisdom boost from her race as well. And we choose the standard array of scores. A very wise one. We're going to put her 14 in wisdom. We're again kind of going to jump her. We're going to kind of dump her charisma. She always, or almost always, mutes her laugh after all. And she has a very I don't mean this like roughly. Her wit is very dry, but that's what makes it good. We're gonna give her the 12 to intelligence. We're gonna give her. She's not gonna get bonuses to Dex, but she's not gonna get penalties either. We're gonna make her strength 15 and her con 13. Another ad in our music. Apparently we have a lot of ads that I didn't notice before when it wasn't quite working right. I don't know. So we're going to go back to that feat for race here. And I think we're actually going to pick Artificer Initiate here. We're going to pick how about How about some Tinker's tools in this particular case? I think that might be best. We're going to do create bonfire. And I think we're also going to do I think that's pretty good. Bonfire, so that she can, you know, bring up a forge basically at any point that she needs to. And then identify, which would make sense for her, you know, analyzing her creations. So let's jump over to her background. Now I think this makes a pretty good case for her knowing Dorvish, being a blacksmith. Kind of good, harkening back to why we gave Anya Dorvish. And then when it comes to, excuse me, her background, I think of course, well there's Far Traveler. Why can I see it now? I don't know. Anyway. Where is... I think the best option for Kayla would be a guild artisan here. Now we can give her... I think the best option would be I'd say history in this case. Artisan tools. Let's give her cartographers. It doesn't make as much sense, but I think it will work. Now, she would also know something when it comes to extra languages. Something perhaps more gruff, perhaps. I don't know. So let's go with Draconic. It may not make the most sense, but I think it's okay. We choose her equipment. Now, she's not proficient with martial weapons. So we do have to go with weaker weapons. I believe, yeah, we are... Bonus proficiencies. Heavy armor and smith tools. Yeah. So we can check the chainmail here. And civil weapons. I think we have to choose for her something good, like a hammer. How about a light hammer? That works good. We'll give her the explorers. It's not that she's wouldn't be semi-religious in our D&D setting, but it wouldn't be her primary thing. Artisan's tools. She definitely has smith tools with her. Now we didn't choose her spells already. So let's actually go back to that. Spells. She does have greater flexibility with that because she is a cleric and can change spells as needed. But let's just pick some spells that she would probably have most of the time, if not all the time. Spare the Dying, of course. I think Sacred Flame would be a good choice for her. Mending most definitely would fit here as a Forge Cleric. And I think Toll the Dead would actually work here because of the ringing of her hammer. I think that would work. Now she can know 9 spells from all 3 levels. So let's choose some first level spells. Probably she would most always have Bless here. Cure Wounds, because Kayla would probably be the healer of the group as a cleric. Support caster / kind of healer here. And Shield of Faith would probably be a good choice for her here as well. That's it from the first levels. From the second levels, it would probably make some more... she always has Heat Metal prepared, so we don't even need to pick that. Otherwise, I would pick that. I think Continual Flame would be a good choice. You almost gotta always pick Spiritual Weapon. And then we're gonna pick one more from second level. And let's go with Lesser Restoration. Give her some more utility for the party. When it comes to third level spells, we're going to give her the Spirit Guardians, one of the best spells for a cleric. And we're also going to give her there it is, Revivify, which should give her the 9 spells. Yes, that we have. So let's view her sheet. A nice 33 hit points here for Kayla. Not so great with the weapons, but that's not her primary focus. Her primary focus is going to be as the healer of the group for the most part. Some assistance from Yofi here and there, probably. Yeah. But she also has some attack. But so she can kind of get up there as well with her high armor class to kind of help defend. Not her primary thing, but she can maybe take a hit or two. And that is Kayla. Pull out our scroll again. And now we go on to the Chaotic Range Shaman. Kobo. Now, there are probably multiple ways that you could make Kobo in D&D. But like I said, I kind of wanted to use her, or I kind of wanted to have everybody be their own class. And Kobo was actually, and because of that, I think Kobo was the last one that actually got her class, because hers was the most difficult, in my opinion, to pin down as to what she should be. Like I said, it was very obvious straight from the get-go that Kayla, for example, was going to be the Forge Cleric. Another one that was very easy to pick up on what class they would be. Zeta was very quick to get her class. from me. Muna got initially had a duplicate class, but when I made the rule, it's like, oh wait, I should make them all different classes. Then I was easily able to switch Muna around, and even that, but I had already, figured out everything else, and then it was kind of Kobo that was left. So Kobo was the last to get her class when I came up with my initial ideas for this party. But there was one class, and more specifically subclass, which I think works pretty well, at least as a concept. It works well. So let's go with Kobo here. Again, medium size. And when we go with the feet, we're going to pick something that's going to be very important here. We're going to choose Metamagic Adept. And that's because we're gonna boost her as much as possible. So getting additional metamagic, and this is probably a spoiler if you just pay attention, just figure out what class we're gonna go with. We're gonna give her I think it's transmuted spell. I think that's a good idea. And then we're also going to give her twin spell here. I think it's a good idea. Variable trait, we'll give her proficiency. We'll give her proficiency in nature. Here. Class, kind of spoiled it a little. We're going to go with sorcerer for Kobo, up to level 5. Sorceress origin, let's start with that, because I think it's pretty obvious that's going to be Storm Sorcerer. She's a range shaman after all. So when it goes to proficiencies here, let's give her the Arcana, and let's give her Persuasion here. Have you seen how persuasive this little gremlin can be? She gets some additional metamagic options. I think we're going to go with Quicken Spell. And I think we're also going to go with Empowered Spell. And our straight ability score improvements. Again, straight charisma here. She is perhaps the most charismatic, one of the most charismatic members of Hollow ID, in my opinion. Standard array of generation scores with an ability score increase of +2 to her charisma from her racial bonus means that we can put our 14 here, and she's already at 18 here at level 5. Perfect. We'll put her constitution here at 15. Of course, I think we just realized the other day she tested positive for COVID, which is sad, but hopefully she will be better by the time. By now, I don't know. We're going to give her 13 to her dex. We're going to give her the 12 to wisdom. Actually, we're going to give the 10 to wisdom. We'll give her 12 strength, and we'll give her 8 intelligence. Sorry, Gobo. I think I can't do that. No, I can't. We got to give her We'll give her the 10 to intelligence and the 8 to wisdom. No, we can't even do that. We'll give her the 8 to strength. We'll give her the 12 to intelligence and the 10 to wisdom. Yeah, I think that works best. She's pretty smart. I mean, she's to an extent. She can speak 3 languages, and you know, okay. I think that works best. Let's go with just to that wonderful languages. We're going to give her primordial. Apparently we don't need to pick primordial, which I guess is from, yeah, our class. I was going to say primordial, but we don't need primordial if she already knows primordial. So we can give her, what are languages that would be sort of natural? I guess Sylvan would work in a way. And we go to background here. I think background for her this may not sound like it fits, but sage is probably what she might like or might do. I don't know. When it comes to her other skill, she gets history. I don't know if that would be the best, but it's gonna be something. Let's give perception. She gets 2 more languages from her background. So let's give her the Elvish, and let's give her Leonin for the cats. I don't know why. It sounds like something she might do. Go to her equipment. We're gonna go simple here. She has an umbrella. I guess Kobo doesn't really have any weapons either. But a club would be pretty similar to that. Let's give her orb focus for that kind of communing with things. Add that equipment. Got some nice daggers. When in doubt, have a dagger. But we need some spells for Kobo. Now she gets 5 cantrips at level 5. So let's pick some spells. I think Chill Touch here is probably a good one here, especially as the Rain Shaman. Probably a lot of cold spells, if we can manage it in her arsenal. Ray of Frost, Shape Water. Oh, I think definitely Shape Water. And I think we're going to say Message here. The way she kind of slips into Valorant and others' Valorant streams, for example. Just sliding in. Oh, please, thank you. That sort of thing. I think that fits her pretty good. 6 spells total. Oh, my nose itches. Excuse me. It's gonna be a little tricky. Charm Person. I think that's definitely gonna be one of those spells. Fog Cloud. I think it totally makes sense for her. And we'll give her the Mage Armor. Second level spells. What can we give her? Gust of Wind. Not exactly. She needs some more defense to her, I think. So if we get, you know, if we can get her, you know, some defense and some offense, maybe that's a little, probably a little much. All right, one spell from third level here. As a storm sorceress, I think Lightning Bolt. She would have Lightning Bolt over Fireball. Probably take something like Sleet Storm, Wall of Water, maybe Water Breathing or Water Walk later on down the line. But I think that's going to be the primary outfit for Kobo. So, looking at Kobo, she's got 32 hit points here. She does have an armor class of 11. She's definitely a backliner. Backline damage dealing caster. That's kind of where I would envision Kobo being in this particular case. She does have the shield spell, or not shield, excuse me, mage armor spell. So she can get up to 14 AC at the moment. A little better, not the best, but she does also have mirror image to boost her defense like that. And she does have Misty Step too, so she can get away if she needs to. And so that is Kobo. Oops. Kobo is our Storm Sorcerer. It's on to Hey Muna! Hey Muna! Hey Muna! So, as I mentioned earlier, Muna underwent a class change in my pre-recording analysis, in my pre-planning for this. My initial thought was that Muna should be a Twilight Cleric. This is at the same time, you know, this is before I instituted the only one of each class rule. And I initially thought that I would make Muna a Twilight Cleric because I believe, even though she's a human, I believe she's considered to be like a Moon Priestess or something as well. But I couldn't find that specific piece of information to back it up, so you know, we can consider her to be a Moon Priestess. That's fine. I kind of do, I guess. So, you know, take from that what you will. But when it comes to Muna, I initially thought I was going to make her a Twilight Cleric, but then once I instituted the one class rule, I was like, okay, well, if she's not a Moon Cleric, what should we make her? Oh, I know. And we'll get to that in a second. Now, Muna is perhaps one of those ones that might be, therefore, easiest, I guess, to consider a multi-classing thing. You could easily multi-class her, I think, into Cleric, Twilight Cleric, or I guess, you know, other clerics if you really want. I mean, you could potentially multi-class Kobo. Actually, hang on. Let's go back to Kobo for a second. You would need to boost Kobo's wisdom from what we put it, but you could potentially multi-class Kobo into a Tempest Cleric. But I think Muna, if you wanted to go with a Twilight Cleric, that would also work. Maybe it would probably even work a little bit better. I don't know, than what I'm doing with her when I instituted the one class rule. You know, I obviously I went to the obvious choice of what class based on the subclass would be for Muna. But as I'm sitting here talking about it right now, I'm starting to wonder if it was a bad choice. Anyway, we're gonna roll with it and just go from there. We're gonna choose medium, of course. We're gonna go with a feat that is for Muna. I think we're gonna go with inspiring leader on Muna. Muna, I feel like definitely is like the supreme mom of Hollow ID. I don't know if that's truly the case, but that's how I personally feel. But I think as a Moon Priestess, it makes more sense, in my opinion, to give her Dark Vision. She's going to be the first that's actually going to innately get Dark Vision. Now, like I said, when it came to class, once I ruled out Twilight Cleric, because obviously I had to make Kayla the Forge Cleric, so Cleric was then off the table. There was really only one subclass that kind of, in my opinion, made a little bit of sense, and that would be the Moon Druid. So Muna is going to be a Druid, which I guess in a way is kind of kind of positive. You know, I could, a Druid could definitely be a Moon Priestess. I think it makes it's a bit of a stretch, especially because Moon Druids kind of specialize in the shape-shifting aspect of Druidism in Dungeons and Dragons. But hey, details. Flavor is free. As a Moon Priestess, we're gonna give her the religion skill here, and we're gonna give her medicine as well. She's gonna know Druidic Wild Shape. Druid Circle. Like I said, this very quickly went to Circle of the Moon. We're not gonna go into probably not gonna go into what wild shapes Muna might use. It's more about her spells here. I think we would take wisdom for her, and I think we're going to take a intelligence score. We're actually going to split her ASIs, her 4th level ASI, in 2. And you'll see why here in a second. We'll come back to spells here in a moment, after we clear up her ability scores. Standard array, ability score increase, we're going to give her +2 to wisdom. She's going to have a +3 to wisdom, so we're going to give the 15 to wisdom this time. We're going to give her 13 to intelligence, get that bonus to 14, because she's a pretty smart cookie, it seems. Charisma, we're going to give her the 14 as well. She can be a pretty charismatic person, I think. Constitution 12, we're going to dump her strength. So that's going to give her, you know, nice modest amount of mental stats. So let's go back over to spells now. She knows 3 cantrips and 9 spells. Go with the cantrips first. I think Druidcraft is going to be kind of important here. I think she would definitely also know Shape Water. And I think we would also give her... How about a quick Shillelagh? First level spells. She's also gonna, you know, be a little bit kind of like a support. She's gonna be like this hybrid support caster / healer. So I think let's grab Entangle with her and Fairy Fire. Those would definitely be, I feel like, something that she would grab. Healing Word, definitely. And I think Cure Wounds would also work pretty well with Muna here. Let's go to the second level. I think we're going to go with Enhance Ability for her. We're also going to grab Healing Spirit for her. And if she's the Moon Priestess, we've got to grab Moonbeam here. I think that's a very appropriate choice. And then we can grab 2 spells from 3rd level. Let's go with...
Hey everyone, we're Beachweather, and you can listen to our songs, Sex, Drugs, etc. right now on Spotify.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's go with some Dispel Magic. And let's go with... I think we'll go with some Summon Fae here. I think that's a good choice for those 3rd level spells. Now when it comes to her background, obviously we have to pick something that's kind of heavenly in my opinion, so let's go with Celestial. And then when it comes to background, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's like a shrine. She's like a Twilight. Why am I thinking Twilight? A Moon Priestess. So I think we'll go with Acolyte here. I think Acolyte works decently. And so let's go with Insight, and we'll grab Nature here because we already grabbed Religion for her Druid. And she gets 2 languages here. I think the darkness of the abyss, the void around the moon, would be something that maybe she might know. And then also the mystical, Sylvan. I think that would work pretty well too. And that... Well, nope, we gotta pick equipment. A simple weapon. Moon is another one I think, now that I think about it, I don't see with weapons. Let's go with Quarterstaff for her. Any other simple weapon? Dagger. Daggers are... When in doubt, go with a dagger. Druidic Focus. Totem, I think. Might work best. Emblem. A book. I think that works best. So this is our Muna. She's got 33 hit points in her base form. She, you know, obviously would have shapeshifts that she would use quite a bit. Her wild shapes. She got 2 per short rest, so that would be, you know, kind of the big thing. But yeah, got a nice chunky wisdom here. But she also has quite a few spells, you know. Kind of a sport caster, kind of a healer in a way. So that's our Muna. I'm going to take a quick break here. I will be right back in a moment, and we'll continue on. We've got 4 more characters to go. So let's do that. I need to get a drink of water here, and my water bottle is empty. So I will be right back. Hold on tight. I'm back. Cool. Thank you very much for waiting for a moment. Anyway, moving on. Now, Ollie. Oh boy. What were we going to do with Ollie? That was... Ollie was another one that was like, oh gosh, how are we going to make her... What are we going to do with her? And Ollie is another one where before I instituted the 1 class per character rule for this build, for this Theorycraft, I was like, well, Ollie's got to be a fighter. I mean, she's got that huge sword, you know, to begin with. But then I was like, you know what? Ollie is crazy, right? Crazy Ollie. So, it would make sense, therefore, for Ollie to be first. Let's get Ollie up here. Ollie. See, she's got the big sword. And she's crazy, right? then it only, in my opinion, makes most sense for her to be medium. The feature. I think we're going to pick Charger for her. And variable trait. We'll give her performance here. Crazy, unhinged, Ollie. Which class is unhinged? Barbarian. Ollie is going to be a barbarian class. Which just makes sense. Which just made me laugh after I decided that that was going to be the case. I'm like, yes. Yes, absolutely yes. Those barbarian skills, athletics, and we'll go intimidation. She can certainly be charismatically intimidating. Now, when I came to the primal path, I was like, okay, well, what is she gonna be? You know, it doesn't exactly make sense for her to be the totem warrior, because she doesn't have, that kind of stuff. We could make her an ancestral guardian, because she's like undead, but I was like, no, that doesn't work. We could just do straight up battle rager, but that doesn't work either, in my opinion. We could go beast, but she doesn't, have a bestial form either. We could just go straight berserker, perhaps, and that's one that has merit. But I think actually, it's like, okay, Zealot we could maybe think about, but she's not really a divine person either. So she ended up being a berserker. It's really very simple, but hey, frenzied attack. Hey, it works. So, ESIs. She's gonna need that strength. Yeah, she's gonna need that strength. Now, we don't have to pick spells for Ollie. She's not a spellcaster. But when we go to the standard array, when we give her straight up ability score increases to strength, we give her that 18 in strength by level 5. Level 4, technically. We're going to give her the 13 in dex and the 15 in con. Crazy. She's got to have the highest, charisma for what she's got. I'm going to go with the 10 in the wisdom. And she's going to dump the intelligence. She's crazy after all. The charisma's got to be at the expense of something. No, she's actually, again, a very intelligent woman. Zombie. She's, I think, one of the most fluent in all 3 languages. Or at least 3 languages. Very, she's a smart girl. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, carrying on. As a kind of undead, it's like, well, what should we get? It's kind of undead, which I think is Dalkir. It's kind of like the undead language. I don't really remember in D&D. Now, when it comes to her background, there's not really one that like fits in my opinion. So I think the best would probably actually be Folk Hero. Like I said, it's not the best fit, but she comes from a simple place, right? We'll give her the Painter's Splice. She's a pretty good artist from my understanding. And that'll be our Ollie. Well, after we choose some equipment. We could choose the Great Axe, but I think any martial weapon, and we go with the Great Sword. She's got that big old sword, you know, back of her head. I don't think it's actually a great sword, or would be classified as great sword, but we're gonna pretend that it's a great sword for her. Any simple weapon. I think this one is a pretty easy pick. I think we're going to give her the spear in this case. Artisan tools. We'll give her the painter supplies. And that'll be her equipment. And let's pop over to her sheet. So Ollie, front line, 50 hit points right off the bat. A little bit better than Anya, but hey, you know, one step at a time. Get a nice, wonderful strength score at 18 here. Pretty kind of, well, with a little bit of help, you know, she could be a little bit more beefy with constitution and dexterity. A nice, actually a very low 13 armor class right now. So definitely will need some help with that dexterity bonus in the future. Nice +7 on her attacks. Well, she's got the 13 armor class, but with the rage, she takes half damage from most attacks. So she can get in there, mix it up, be a nuisance, be crazy. So that's our Ollie build. Ollie is our Berserker Barbarian. And on to Rene. Now Rene actually has quite a bit of lore that makes it very easy to place her into a particular class. Wow, she's very large. Hello, Rene. There we go. There is Rene. Now, Rene specifically says in her lore, she was at a magical academy. Very easy then to decide which class Rene is going to be. Of course, medium. Now, when it comes to feet, I think we have to choose Warcaster. Oops, not Weapon Master. Warcaster. Warcaster. And a variable trait, I think, as a bird, we're going to give her proficiency in perception. Ha, you thought I might go dark vision, didn't you? I thought about it. But no, we're going to go proficiency in perception. Magic student at an academy till a spell went wrong and she found herself here. Wizard. Wizard class. This does mean Renee is kind of going to be the hit point loser here, probably. Level 5 means that we get wizard skills, Arcana, and we're also going to give her actually, we'll give her history here. She gets an arcane tradition. Now, the question of, well, if she's a wizard, which one does she get? We could do really any of them, and I think any of them would work to some extent. But I think perhaps the best, or the two best, would be enchantment and transmutation. And ultimately, I think I decided to go with transmutation. Let me double check my notes here. Yes, I did decide to go to transmutation. But as I'm sitting here thinking about it again, I think I might go enchantment now. Why did I choose transmutation? I think I chose transmutation because of the shape-shifting. Yeah, I think that's why I chose that. Or the idea of shape-shifting. So, we're going to give her ASIs to her intelligence. We'll come back to spells. Actually, spells are slightly easier as a wizard. No, let's come back to spells here after we do ability scores. Standard array, she gets a standard abilities. Her standard abilities go to intelligence as well. Give the 14 to intelligence. She's at 18 intelligence here at level 5. Very smart, you know, in my opinion, Renee. She's another one of the ones that is very fluent in at least three languages. From my understanding, very good, yes. We're going to give her 13 to wisdom. We're going to give her 15 to her constitution, 12 to her dex, 10 to her charisma, and she's going to dump her strength here. Now, let's go back to her class. When it comes to spells for the wizard, it's a little more complex because she has the ones in her book, then she has the ones that are prepared. So let's go to her cantrips first. It's going to be a little bit different with Renee. She's definitely going to be a kind of more support caster. I feel like that's, you know, a bit of a given with wizards. They're more support casters, but they can also be blaster casters, if that makes sense. Let's go with message. We're also going to go with friends. And I think she's gonna take the dancing lights. But she does need an attacking spell as a wizard. So we're going to give her... So we will give her the Firebolt. Now, she does know 6 level 1 spells from level 1. So let's choose 6 spells here. And I think it makes sense. She's going to know something like Chromatic Orb. That's going to give her some offense. We're also going to give her Find Familiar. That's utility. We'll give her Mage Armor and Magic Missile. It's like a core 2 spells for wizards. We're going to give her Shield. And we're going to give her... We're going to give her Witch Bolt here. And those are going to be her starting 6. Now wizards... I'm forgetting off the top of my head how their spell advancements go. Wizard. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. We want wizard. We want to look at the class wizard. The wizard table, here we are. So, we gain 2 additional spells per level. So, just for free. So we get 2 more level 1 spells that we can choose here. We're going to take... We will take... I think we'll take Tasha's Hideous Laughter. That's a control spell. A bit. And then we can do... Let's give her a escape spell. Expeditious Retreat. I think that's a good idea. Now, at 3rd level, she could pick 2 spells from 1st or 2nd level. So let's take a look at just 2nd level spells here for a moment. So we could pick any of these spells. I think let's give her Mirror Image. It's going to be good for her defense. And then let's give her... Or no. Yeah, Mirror Image. We can also choose from 1st level spells. So let's go back to 1st level spells for a second. And we'll give her Comprehend Languages. That would be aesthetically pretty good. 4th level, we get another 2 spells. It can be from 1st or 2nd level. I think we'll choose some more attacking spells now that are 2nd level, perhaps. Let's grab Shatter. And let's get let's get the snowball swarm. And then we get 2 spells at 5th level for free. And these can be from 3rd level, so let's look at 3rd level. I think she would definitely take Counterspell. She's a smart girl. And then she would also, as kind of a Sportcaster, let's take Haste. Yeah, I think those are the spells that she would have, barring any prepared spell, any other spells that may be come across during adventuring. Now, when it comes to what spells she would probably have, she can have 9 prepared at the moment. So, she'd probably almost always have the Mage Armor. The good thing about the ritual spells is that she doesn't need to prepare them, she just needs the time to do them. So we can leave Find Familiar and Comprehend Languages on the bench, for the most part. I think Chromatic Orb and Magic Missile would almost always be prepared, and there is a bug on my screen. Came out of nowhere. How did that get there? Of course, we are in the forest, so, it's something that happens. Anyway, that's 3 spells from her 1st level spells. Let's also have her Witch Bolt prepared. I think that's probably going to be a typical. Now, we only have 3 2nd level spells available to her at the moment. So let's take her Mirror Image and her Shatter. And we only have her 2 3rd level spells. So let's prepare both of those as well. And let's prepare her 3rd 2nd level spell. So those would probably be the spells that she might have most of the time, if I had to guess. So we have abilities. Let's go to her background. Her bonus language to start with. Let's go Sylvan as a peafowl. And then she is a student at the academy. So I think that we should go with either Cloistered Scholar or what's the other one? I know it. Ooh. What is Lorehold Student? No, I don't think that's quite right. Let's just go with the Cloistered Scholar. Library access. She gets 2 more languages. What interesting languages should we potentially give her? I don't know. How about Elvish? Some magical languages. She would also know something interesting, perhaps undercommon, for unusual spells. That sounds good. We'll give her investigation. And we'll give her, I guess, religion. Get her equipment. Staff, totally. Focus, definitely. Let's just make it into her staff. Scholar, I think that's probably good. She would definitely be one to pick up artist tools as well in the future. She's a very good artist, and from what I've seen as well. So here is our Rene build. 32 hit points, which actually I think isn't bad. Actually, it's her constitution. Really. Yeah. It's her constitution that really kind of saves her here. But yeah, here we are. Not really our physical fighter, definitely our spellcasting when it comes to fighting. Only 11 armor class, but she does have the mage armor spell, so she can boost all the way to 14 at the moment, based on her current build. Very nice, yes. And that is our Rene build. Oops. On to the chaotic squirrel. It is time for Risu, who is the chaos. Is chaos. It is just chaos. She's chaos. If Bay was not chaos, it would be Risu. But Bay is chaos. So we have Risu, the chaotic squirrel. Risu's class also came to me very, very easily. Comes to her, we go medium, we go feet. We want I think for feet, for her, we're going to take lucky, because I think it's lucky that she hasn't been perhaps in more trouble than she does get, if she does get any. Variable trait. We're going to give her the dark vision, though. I feel like squirrels have dark vision. I don't know if they actually do. Choose a class. She's from the magical forest. Yes? So, pretty easy in my opinion to decide which class she should be. The ranger. Totally the ranger. But then it was like, okay, well, what subclass would she be then? Well, it's a magical forest that she's from. So, let's go to the ranger archetype. I think it only made sense then that she became a Fey Wanderer. Ranger. So, proficiencies. Definitely that nature. Definitely that survival. And I think we're going to go with the perception. her favorite enemy. We're gonna go with humanoids. Because she definitely knows how to get humans. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna go... She would... Probably Fae. Which is gonna give us Sylvan. Because she would understand how to track and hunt Fae. If she is considered to be a Fae. Natural Explorer, we have to choose Forest here. It's the only one that makes sense. And Fighting Style, we're going to give her the Archery. We could do, you know, some others, but I think Archery, we don't really have a ranged physical fighter yet in the group. Of course, we don't have a melee spellcaster either. Exactly. We already have a Ranger archetype, Primeval Awareness, Dreadful Strikes, extra psychic damage, Fey Wanderer magic, Otherworldly Glamour. Choose a Fey Wanderer skill. Performance. People have looked at, like I was looking at a video, I guess this was a couple weeks ago now, and it was trying, I don't know if it was successful, but it was trying to objectively rank the best singers in Hololive based on 5 criteria, and I forget what those criteria were at the moment, but Risu scored the top in those categories out of all Hololive, which is, you know, it didn't show all of her singing, but it showed clips of her singing, and it's like, okay, you know, she's pretty good. I'm not somebody who can properly judge such a thing. That is not my area of expertise, but we'll give it to her. Ability score improvements. We're going to give her a 1 to Dex and a 1 to Wisdom here. Going into her abilities, standard array of choice. And ability scores, we're going to give her the Dex. We're going to give her 15 to her Dex because Squirrel, and because we need to greatly get that nice bonus to 18. We're going to put her 13 in the Wisdom. So with that +1 that we just gave her at 4th level, she gets a nice 14 there. And that does give us the capacity to put 14 in her Constitution. We're going to give her the 12 in Charisma, because she definitely knows what she's doing. 8 to Intelligence, we're going to dump her Strength. Description. We already have given her Sylvan, so let's give her kind of the other Fayish language in Elvish. And let's give her Outlander when it comes to things. Grew up in the wilds, yeah, magical forest, definitely fits. Athletics, we'll give her Acrobatics. Musical instrument, yes. Let's just give her the flute. another language for her, though. Let's give her Gnomish. Just because it's interesting, it's different from everything else that we've picked for, you know, so far. She does. I think she might get spells. Actually, we'll go back to that. Leather armor. I think we're gonna go with the short swords for her. Explorer's pack, definitely. Add all that starting equipment. Let's go back to her class, because we have spells to pick. She knows 4 spells. I would say Animal Friendship, definitely. We'll give her Hunter's Mark. Be a slightly better... Actually, not Animal Friendship. Speak with animals. Yeah. Healing Spirit. Which may sound strange for her to have, but hey. And let's give her Zephyr Strike. Looks good. So, let's jump over to her sheet. What does her sheet look like? She's got 15 armor, 44 hit points. She can definitely hit from range. Or with her finesse-based melee weapons, more likely, too. She doesn't have a very good dispersion of spells, but she can definitely do stuff. And that is our build for Risu. Alright, let's add to the list. Fey Wander Ranger. And that just leaves Zeta. Now, probably, like I said earlier, Zeta was one of those that I quickly was able to determine this is what class she's going to be. And what better class than that than... Ooh. Oh, there we go. Given she is a secret agent, medium, we're going to go with the feat. We're going to go with, I believe it's the Skulker feat. Yeah, Skulker feat. Variable trait, we're going to give her Dark Vision. She's a cat after, I mean, not a cat. Totally a cat. Totally a cat. Not a cat. Not a cat. She's not a cat. Not a cat. She's a secret agent. Rogue. Totally. Totally rogue. Up to level 5. Boom. Just like that. As a rogue, she's definitely going to need, and for the roguish stuff. Stealth, sleight of hand. We'll give her acrobatics. And we'll also give her perception. As her expertise, we'll give her the stealth. And we'll give her the sleight of hand. pretty typical choices for a rogue. Nothing too out of the ordinary, really. But when it comes to her rogue archetype, I was like, okay, well, what is she? What is she? You know? She's not an arcane trickster. She's not a magical one. I don't feel like she's an assassin either. She could be an inquisitive, could be a mastermind. Not really a phantom. Maybe a scout. Not really a soul knife. I would say definitely not a swashbuckler. But if she's a secret agent, supposed to kind of get in, get out with the stuff, I think thief works best for her. Which may sound strange. But hey, you know, that's what I think. So, some ASI improvements for her. We're definitely going to give her that boost to the dex. Because that's definitely going to be what she specializes in. Standard array with her innate ability score increase to her dex as well. Gives us 18 in dex here at level 5. We go with a 15 in con, 13 wisdom, 12 intelligence, 10 charisma, and 8 strength. Dumping strength again. Comes to our backgrounds, our languages. She's going to need some common stuff still. So we're going to give her Dwarvish. And of course, as a secret agent, the spy background works best for her in this case. Deception, definitely a skill that she would have. Investigation. Comes to gaming, let's just give her the dice. Tools. We're going to give her the disguise kit. So, look at her equipment. What equipment do we give her? Short sword. I think we'd also give her a bow with arrows as well. And we give her the burglar's pack for breaking in. Secret agent stuff. Add all that to her gear. Wield the dagger. Wield the leather. Short bow, short sword. And boom, let's take a look. We have 38 hit points, 15 armor class. The nice 14 dex, which gives us +7s in all of her attacks. Or most of her attacks. Means that this is our build here for Zeta. Whew. This has been a long one. Let's pull up our list here again. And she is a thief rogue. So, voila. This is our Hollow ID D&D Megaparty. Call it the D&D Megaparty. We have Anya, our Battlemaster fighter. We have Eofi, our Glamour Bard. We have Kayla, our Forge Cleric. We have Kobo, our Storm Sorcerer. We have Muna, who's our Moon Druid. We have Ali, who's our Berserker Barbarian. Renee is our Transmutation Wizard. Risu is our Fey Wanderer Ranger. And Zeta is our Thief Rogue. Now, Here are some alternate suggestions if you wanted to create your own that I have. You could also totally make Caleb probably as something like an artificer. Really, any of them might even work. Though probably an armor artificer might work best, just with her concept. And that would allow you potentially to put Muna as a Twilight cleric. Totally doable too. You could totally have Ollie be a fighter, probably of just about any type. Though probably I would say maybe a champion fighter might be best. Just because Ollie doesn't have a lot going for her in terms of magical stuff or something like that. Really, you could make Risu probably something like a rogue as well. Probably even better as a thief rogue, being a squirrel. Again, like I mentioned with Renee, you could make her an enchantment wizard. You could make Kobo a wizard too, potentially. And all of these things you could also potentially multi-class these characters into. I think if I were playing Muna, for example, I would probably, like if I were to actually play Muna, I might actually go with a Twilight Cleric over the Moon Druid. Just because, like I said, the Moon Druid totally is about animal shapeshifting. I feel like Muna would focus more on the spell casting. So I'd probably go with the Cleric over the Druid. But that's just a personal opinion. But for the purposes of this party, keeping everybody as a unique class, we have Muna as a Moon Druid. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. It has been a long one. My voice is getting tired. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. My name is Fleza. I look forward to seeing you next time. Look out tomorrow for the newest episode of the Forest Report that is coming to you with the week schedule. Keep in mind there might be some changes that started yesterday and moved into today and will be probably going on for the rest of the time that I continue to stream. But thank you so much for coming today, everybody. I appreciate having you. Please drop a like, drop your comments below. Maybe subscribe, I don't know, whatever the YouTube algorithm stuff does. It would be appreciated. Thank you for coming. I will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, all that wonderful stuff. Bye-bye.